Om Namah Shivaya. Friends, we were understanding about the great works of the legendary artist, architect, engineer, mathematician of the Italian Renaissance period, Leonardo da Vinci. We are yet trying to understand his another work, which is a masterpiece, and it is called the Last Supper. Last Supper, when Jesus Christ, a day before crucifixion, calls his disciples, 12 of his disciples, and addresses them and conveys them the fact that one of them would be a traitor. And there is a lot of chaos, panic, and a sense of grief among the 12 disciples, and various expressions of them are captured in this painting. This painting is kept in a church called Santa Maria del Grezzi, Santa Maria del Grezzi in Milan, Italy. And it has been the place, the surrounding area has been attacked a lot of times by the French at the time of Second World War. So what we see now is not the actual version of the painting. It has been restored multiple times, many times by Leonardo's disciple himself. But the major works, the features, the facial features of various characters in these paintings are designed by Leonardo da Vinci. And it even, like another paintings, we have talked about the Vitruvian Man, we have talked about the Salvator Mundi Jesus, like all his paintings, this painting is also contains a lot of codes and hidden messages in the painting. And let's try to understand this. Jesus Christ is addressing the disciples, and he's saying to the disciples that whoever is a traitor would reach out to the loaf of bread. And here we can see Judas, Judas touching the piece of bread, and at the same time Jesus Christ is also reaching out to the same piece of bread, indicating to the fact that Judas was a traitor, and Judas was the one because of whom Jesus suffered and Jesus was crucified. Judas is also shown holding a bag of coins, which he received by the Romans, for being a traitor to his master. And there's a lot of controversy about this figure right next to Jesus Christ, who this figure is. Many of them say that it is Saint John. But there's one school of thought. There was a book written by Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code, and there was a mainstream movie mainstream movie of that same book, which was the Da Vinci Code. They talk about a lot of things, and Jesus in one of his paintings, Saint John, when he's showing Saint John the Baptist, he shows the finger of Saint John in a peculiar way, pointing to the sky. But you see here, this person is pointing the finger in the same particular way to the sky. Also, this person, this figure, you can see the face is little tilted. In one of Leonardo da Vinci's work, he has talked that when an artist needs to portray a feminine figure or a female figure in the painting, the head would be tilted at a certain angle, and we can see that here the head is slightly tilted. And the Dan Brown book talks about that this is none other than Mary Magdalene. Now there were two people, according to the bibliographic story, there were two people, Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ, and Mary Magdalene, who witnessed the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Mary Magdalene was a disciple of Jesus Christ, and she was the one who witnessed the resurrection, rising from the dead. Resurrection event was witnessed by Mary Magdalene. And there's yet another gospel, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which talks about a lot of things. Okay, and you can see this structure, like if you conjoin this figure, it would form a M, which again reiterates to the fact that this person in the figure could be Mary Magdalene, and we are not sure of anything, but if we consider the Dan Brown book and the Da Vinci Code, they say that she was his disciple and she was the Holy Grail. Means there could be a possibility of Jesus' holy blood, okay, transferring to the next generation. She could be the Holy Grail, but yet it is a subject of discussion. Okay, and if you see the Christianity Trinity principle, Holy Trinity principle is shown like very clearly in the painting Salvator Mundi. There were 3 stars in the crystal bowl, which indicate to the Orion constellation and Christianity Trinity principle, which is the Father, Son and the Holy Spirit. Here you can see 3 windows, 1, 2, 3 windows right behind Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ figure is painted the structure is like that of a triangle. Again, Trinity principle, Father, Son and the Holy Spirit. Also, there is something called as linear perspective. For those who understand art or artworks, there is something called as linear perspective. Like it kind of gives a 3D effect to the painting. Transition from front to back. It is called as linear perspective. You can see depth going from front to back. Okay. Now in the modern day, when we talk about 3D, things like 3D technology is very common. But back in the 15th century, 14th, 15th century, it was very difficult. It is the intellectual capability of the great artist to show 3D effect, the linear perspective in this painting. Also, there is one thing, they are shown eating orange and eel fish. Okay, but back in the days when in the era of Jesus Christ, there was no orange slices, there was no oranges, but here yet it is shown Jesus Christ consuming orange slices and eel, which was a very common delicacy in Italy, okay, at the time of Leonardo da Vinci. And very recently, musician from Italy, Giovanni Maria Palla, what he did was he conjoined all this bread, loaf of breads and pebbles kept on this table to the hands of the characters. Okay, so he found that these are nothing but the melodious musical notes, and he conjoined everything. He formed a 40-second melodious hymn. Okay, and it is indicative of the fact that this piece of breads could be the hymn. Okay, these could be the musical notes, and lot of things. Linear perspective, golden ratio. Okay, this windows at the back, all these windows at the back, and they collectively, all the 3 windows are in a certain proportion, forming the golden ratio. Lot of things. Okay, also one more important thing, that hundreds of painters before Leonardo da Vinci also tried to paint this, the Last Supper, and they would show a peculiar halo on the heads of all of them, all of the disciples of Jesus Christ. But here we can see that none of the disciples is carrying a halo, okay, which is indicative of the fact that Leonardo da Vinci was trying to establish that these were not saints but ordinary human beings like us. Okay, means it broke the conventional norms of that time, and yet again this is a masterpiece. Okay, yet we find this painting at the dining hall of a lot of people, a lot of households till date. That was it regarding Leonardo da's The Last Supper. Okay, if you want to know more about golden ratio or how do you imbibe this golden ratio in Vastu, in astrology, in decorating of your household, please contact Maharishi Astrological Center. My contact number is 9503596761.